Hello Whizz kids, and welcome to part 2 of our video on sequences and the nth term. In this video we're going to be going over quadratic sequences and finding the nth term with a worked example and some test questions. First, a quick recap from the last video. A sequence is simply a list of numbers that follow a pattern or formula. A term is a number in that sequence. So for example, in the sequence showing, the first term is 1. The nth term refers to a formula that can find any term in that sequence. So in the last video we saw that linear sequences have a difference between each term that is the same, and we call this the first difference. In quadratic sequences, this first difference is not the same, they're unequal. However, if we look at the first difference as a sequence of its own, then we can see that the difference between each of these terms is the same, and we call this the second difference. And the reason for this is that all quadratic sequences follow the general quadratic equation. You should be familiar with this, and it is an squared plus bn plus c, where a, b and c are all numbers or constants. You may have seen this written as ax squared plus bx plus c, but this is the same thing, as x and n are both variables. The key here is that the formula for the pattern of every quadratic sequence has a variable which is raised to the power of 2. There are many different ways to work out the formula for a quadratic sequence. The method we will use is an algebraic method, as this takes advantage of the general quadratic equation, but with a small little twist just to help you visualize and remember it. This brings me nicely to this crucial diagram. I'm going to call this the ice cream diagram, mainly because it looks like an ice cream. We're going to come back to this later, but to start with we're going to need to get a sequence, find out the first and second difference. Let's get to it. So if we look at the following sequence and take a look at the differences between the terms, if we calculate that, then we get the first difference, which is increasing, and so the numbers in the first difference are 7, 9 and 11. You can see these are not equal, so we know it's quadratic. If we then take a look at the difference between these terms, we can see that they are equal and they're all increasing by 2, and that gives us our second difference. Now we just take a note of the first term in the sequence, the first difference and the second difference, as we'll need them in the next part. Let's take a step back to our ice cream diagram. You'll notice it's made up of colored lines. Let's suppose the length of each green line is called A, the red line is called B, and the length of the blue line is called C. Now imagine we split this shape into 3 parts, a top, a middle and a bottom, and our goal is to work out the total length of each part. You can see that the total length of the top section is 2 times A, the middle section is 3 times A plus B, and the bottom section is A plus B plus C. Now let's bring back the first term from our sequence, the first difference and second difference that we worked out, and pair these with each section from the top to the bottom. You can see we've got 3 equations which we can solve to work out A, B and C. So starting from the top, we can see 2a is equal to 2, therefore a is equal to 1. Moving to the middle, 3a plus b is equal to 7. Substituting a equals 1 into this, we get b is equal to 4. Finally, moving to the bottom, a plus b plus c is equal to 2. If we substitute a and b into this, we can see that c is equal to minus 3. So why is this all important, I hear you asking? Now, remember what I first said. All quadratic sequences follow the general quadratic equation and are thus defined by that. As we've worked out a, b and c, we can simply substitute these numbers in to get the formula that defines this sequence. So this will be 1n squared or n squared plus 4n minus 3. Okay, so now it's your turn. Take a look at the sequence below and work out what the quadratic equation is to this sequence. Pause the video here, as the answer is going to be coming up next. So I hope you managed to work that out and even use the ice cream diagram. If you found this helpful, then please give us a like and subscribe for more Maths Whizz videos, and leave us a comment below for any specific topics you would like to get simplified.